when you don't get feedback, how do you kind of make that determination of which way you should move, what you should do, what you should change? If you're not succeeding with interviews, the answer really is to network. People don't realize networking is a de facto interview. So networking is like a scrimmage or an exhibition. What you really need is mentors who will give you honest feedback. I'm talking about in-person interactions and Zoom calls, something where you're physically interacting, get the feedback from them and say, hey, please just be very honest with me, be very blunt. Is there anything that I'm doing that is hurting me? Or is there anything I'm not doing that could be helping me? Once you ask those questions and get those honest answers, I think that will give you a lot more clarity and visibility in terms of next steps and what you should do. Really, to get to that next level is to figure out, what is it that I'm doing? Do I have a look on my face? I've experienced this firsthand with people and they have no idea. They're just like this the whole time and they don't even realize it. My freshman year roommate always had this like pissed off look on his face. One time I pulled him aside and I'm like, bro, you have this look on your face like you're pissed off when anybody's talking to you. And he was shocked. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. But something as subtle as that is something that you would never know on your own. The other thing too is it could be an issue of coming across as passionate or lacking passion. You have to give the impression that your parents met to have you so that you could work this job and do this thing and work for this company. I know that sounds completely bananas and insane, but that's the impression that you want to give. You can't go in with a negative mindset, thinking about all the times that you didn't do well or what did I not do right the other times. Always a clean slate. Don't bring any baggage or anything from previous experiences into the next one. That is another huge key. It's like Michael Jordan missing the shot. All right, on to the next one. Specifically, my recommendation is the networking piece. Networking unlocks opportunities that are not available to everybody else. It's funny, when I was actually interviewing myself, I was waiting for a cab in the city and I just started BSing with this guy and he gave me his card and he's like, well, regardless of what happens with your interview, give me a call because I think you'd be perfect for my team. And I'm like, huh? You want to be memorable. How can I become memorable? What do I do? A magic trick? You can be memorable in the questions that you ask them. I personally love the golden question. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to your 20-year-old self? That's a deep question. Another question that I like to ask at the end of an interview, hey, there's a lot of great firms out there. Why are you working here rather than those other places? They're going to give you an answer that validates why you should be there as well. And that's how you could become memorable. And that's how you're going to ensure that you're going to get the response back and the feedback. Another thing that a lot of people don't do, if you're being interviewed by Ken and Mary, say their names. Ken, that's a great question. Mary, that's really insightful. There's something about that where you build that connection with that other person and they're like, wow, okay, they know who I am. And it's little things like that that make all the difference. If you walked into an interview and said, hey, how are you doing today? I bet nobody asked them how they're doing. They're like, dude, everybody else is walking in here like a robot. And this guy walks in, he's got a great attitude. He's asking me about stuff outside of work. If you can build commonality, you can crush everybody else. That's the type of stuff that you really want to focus on. What makes you unique? What makes you memorable? What do you do outside of the work environment? Don't limit yourself. Some of the greatest opportunities are going to come from places that you would never even thought of. The more that you really focus your effort and attention on casting a wide net, you're just going to get so many more opportunities. It's easier said than done. I get that, especially as you go through this process and it gets frustrating. That's why I recommend going the networking route and saying to whomever you're networking with, look, I need your honest feedback. What am I not doing that I should or could be doing? What am I doing that's potentially hurting me? And if you can do that, I truly believe you can set yourself apart